People, we are back.
What's happening?
What's going on? Black to the Basics, aka the People's Podcast. I am your host and 1/3, Mr. J. Weeks, aka 52 the Balls. Here with my mans.
B Stokes, also known as Brother Knowledge, checking in, baby.
Yes, sir. Who else we got up here, man?
It's your boy J. Man. You know, I'm just happy to be here.
You glad to be here?
I'm just happy.
We back, man. Another week, man.
Yo.
How y'all feeling, man?
Bless, bro.
Feeling good, man. I'm feeling real good. Just, a lot of positivity, in the air.
Man.
Feeling real good.
I'm excited, man. It's Sunday, but this is going to air on Thursday. But, I'm excited that Mike, that documentary about to come out, 10-part series. It's going to be like that.
The GOAT, man.
Yeah, I know Herb is
Yeah, man, whatever. You know my view.
Yeah, we ain't going to talk about it. It's all good.
I like Mike, but you know who my GOAT.
I want to be like Mike.
True, man. The real truth. But, that's one thing about it, man. We talk about these comparisons.
Yeah.
LeBron, Mike, Kobe.
Right.
They all look great.
Yeah.
And you think about it, right? But Mike, growing up, to see that, you're like, I want to be out there. You know, do that.
I feel you, but
He's a hater, man.
It's all love.
yeah. Kobe's my guy. Everybody knows that. Kobe's my guy.
Yeah, that's his mom. Yeah,
You know what
definitely.
I'm saying?
But not only that, man, it's just also tonight, there's also going to be the unsung.
But Goody Mob,
Goody
baby.
Mob,
The Mob.
You being a native, how you feel about
Hey,
that,
man, I think I'm going to have to just record Mike. And just check out the Goody Mob, man, just because, for me, Goody Mob impacted coming up from the city.
Mm-hmm.
All my friends are Goody Mob fans.
Mm-hmm.
So we get a chance to go see them live or see different things around the city.
Right.
It's always an impact. So now to see the story,
Right.
what we've heard,
Mm-hmm.
but now what the media is going to say is true.
Right.
So we're going to get a chance to watch that.
What
So that's
time?
what I'm tuning in.
I think it's 8. Yeah.
Okay.
They had another special on something. I can't remember what it was. Actually, it wasn't on Goody Mob. It was on Dungeon Family.
Yeah.
So I didn't know.
Of course.
I didn't know the whole scope of everything.
It's like a pyramid, big pyramid, baby. Bunch of families branching off of each.
It's like everybody, and they was getting it out the house, man. So that's definitely
they like to compare us to the Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
There's so many different hives of the Wu-Tang.
What my man Stack say? Hey, the South got something to say.
Hey, that's it.
Yeah, let it be known, man. But yeah, man, it's been a lot of movies going on. A lot of stuff going on. I've been on Netflix hard, man. I don't really watch TV besides, Shark Tank is like.
Yeah.
It's like my whole life.
Motivation.
So that's pretty much all I've been on is that Shark Tank. I've seen a lot of great things on, Shark Tank. That got me some ideas going. So
That's good.
you might see me on your air. I'll pitch some ideas for it. I ain't gonna tell y'all though, because y'all might try to get me that. But today's gonna be a good day, man. We got another episode in here. Despite the COVID-19, we pushing through. So
It's been hard, man.
It's
been hard.
How you been adjusting with it,
Man, I like it. It's hard, man.
and then you out there on the front line.
It's hard for me because, one, I'm such a people person as far as what I do, for my job and not being able to, to help and care for people. It's really what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I see the big picture. And, I just wish people would just take time to just realize, hey, this is not just like the common cold. People are really dying. I've got a couple people, friends of mine that have lost loved ones due to the virus. And like Shannon Sharp, Uncle Shay said a long time ago, it doesn't hit home until somebody close to you or was affected by it. So it's just been crazy. This stuff I see on TV, like, the Florida thing.
Open the beaches?
Open the beaches up, you know what I'm saying? So,
Florida's a different type, man. They different people.
it's a little different, man, but I just wish people just stay in the house, man.
Yeah.
Or just ride it out, man. Like,
Man, it's just a new age, man. We used to being out interacting, day parties, people up here,
brunch.
they can't be on social media doing their day parties and stuff, man.
Is it worth it, though? You know what I'm saying?
True. Because, like you said, though, man, if you don't stay at home, it's not going to get better.
No, and it's all people are not realizing is, regardless of how you feel about it, whether you think 5G caused it or whatever the situation is, if you just stay in the home or just follow basic instructions, the faster we can get out, and do what we need to do. But the longer you protest, and like I saw the stuff up in Michigan, which was very troubling. They're protesting about the stay-at-home order,
They want to go back to work or something?
Yeah, they want to just go back to regular life.
Open up the city. Again.
Open the city. However, Flint, Michigan has been without clean drinking water for X amount of years. And
years.
Nobody's lining the streets for that. So
not months, people.
Years. Right. Yeah, that's crazy, man. But hopefully, people will take heed to that, and it doesn't have to end in a bunch of casualties for people to realize it. But I think people are getting more aware once they kind of tone down all the conspiracy theories because it's something different
every day.
So
every day.
So I guess once people kind of sit back and kind of look at things and understand, but take those precautions still, though, man.
That's it. Follow instructions.
We still want to take those precautions. Wear them masks. Now I do have to say this, man. To all of the fitness people that's wearing the altitude mask, please stop.
Come on now,
man.
dog.
You're going to pass out. The altitude
Come
mask
on, man.
is the altitude. It's giving you shorter breath, man. So
it's not a filtration mask.
So that's my only beef. I seen somebody, I'm like, this dude going to pass out here in the South, dog. Like, you can't be doing that. But make sure, not only that, though, seriously, that you make sure that you are protecting your children if you're going to take them out. I know, I'm not saying that everybody can't go outside because, you got to get your necessities, go to the store. But please protect these kids, man. Don't have you suited and booted, all protected, and the kids is out there just naked.
Yeah,
Practice out there.
I saw a family, I was grocery shopping, had to get my baby some milk. And I saw a couple, and they had on masks and everything, but their kids had on nothing.
Wow.
So, like, when we go to the grocery store, either we go one at a time,
Yeah.
kids stay at home, or we ride together. One of us stay in the car because we do our list. A lot of people do grocery lists anymore.
Right.
They just go and just buy.
Do you write it down or you use it on your phone? You old school, so
I put it I put it in my phone. My wife actually writes it down though. It's crazy because she'll be sitting there like, "Well, what you need?" And I'm like, "Okay." I'm thinking she'll type in the phone. She writes it down. So but she also, my wife is also a published author, so that's So.
Yeah, the pen.
Yeah. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna need my autograph on my book.
There it is.
So
There
we need
it
that
is.
ASAP. But yeah, man, make sure y'all take these necessary precautions, man, and just protect yourself and your families and your loved ones because we definitely want to see everyone here. So make sure you're doing that. Now, time for us to go ahead. We can't start any show without first educating people. And for that,
be a good one.
Right. For that, we got to link to my man, Brother Knowledge.
Yes.
Knowledge boom.
Glad to be back again for another week.
Yes, sir. What you got for Knowledge Report today, my man?
Hey, man, we're going to talk about this prominent business, man, out of...
business.
Yeah. He was out of Oklahoma, man.
It's my language right there.
Yes, sir. So we're gonna speak on Mr. O.W. Gurley.
Okay.
He is one of a few African American men that moved to the Oklahoma area back in the 1900s. But this gentleman here, he took advantage of creating what we know now as Black Wall Street.
What's that?
Yes. So when you look at that, it's a place out in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Smaller neighborhood called Greenwood.
Okay.
So named after a place in Mississippi, which he was specific in naming it that.
Okay.
But we're gonna learn a little bit more about Black Wall Street a little bit later. But so one cool fact about him though, he was a part of he was the first black man to be a part of a presidential campaign, as in marketing and doing those type of things, upon the growth of Cleveland.
Okay.
So he resigned to actually take part in creating Black Wall Street. So he left that big position to say, okay, let's go create something for my people.
Yeah. That's dope.
So, hey, you about to learn a little bit something.
Oh yeah. Shout out to that.
Yes, sir.
Can't wait to get into that, man. And we always keep our ear to the street. That's my man Jay heard to give us that word on the street. What you got, man?
3, 2.
What we got?
So today I actually got two. I know I've been, I've only had one, but I got two. You know what I'm saying? So I want to talk about Mr. Dr. Ralph Steele. He is an extraordinary. He has a book called The National Economic Plan for African Americans and Community Renewal. Okay. He released a book. It is a mission to educate individuals in the theory and practice about economics, financial literacy, investments, entrepreneurship, business ownership, being debt free.
There it is.
Being debt free.
I don't know nobody, cuz.
Being debt free.
I don't know nobody, cuz.
All right. Financial strategies. His favorite phrase is "wealth is a human right." Became the basis for his creation of his wealth and legacy. Behind the premise. So, I figured it's only right. I feel like it's some business like in the air today, man. So I figured we need to shout it out, man. So Dr. Ralph Steele, man, check out that information, man. So great read. I started reading a little bit of it.
Okay.
And it's very interesting stuff that they don't teach you in schools that we talked about before, like financial literacy, man. Like people don't think it's a problem, but it really is, man.
So did you get it on like an audiobook or did you order it or what?
I got it on iBooks.
Okay.
My
iBooks. Okay, now that's cool.
Old school got an iBook? You mean you didn't go get the paperback joint?
No, I'm trying to what the new how the kids say. I'm trying to follow the wave.
Okay. That's it, baby.
Trying to follow the wave. So I did a digital book, so I'm proud of myself. I didn't have to ask questions.
He had to ask his little 7-year-old. Don't let him lie to you.
Oh, man.
He had to ask his daughter.
I'm not that old, man. I just prefer to,
Go ahead.
Then on the second word on the street today, man, I want to talk about Dr. Excuse me if I'm pronouncing her name wrong, but Kizmika Corbett. Okay. She is head of the vaccine. She works at the Vaccine Research Center along with Dr. Fauci, I think this. But what's important with her, she heads up the program for the COVID-19 vaccination. 34 years old. First black woman to be a part of such a great team. So
go ahead.
She's been working countless days, from 7 days a week, working on very few hours of sleep. The thing about her is that she's for the people. She talks about being a black woman in this line of work, and she's like really down to earth, like to the point where they're in the office working or wherever they're doing their thing. She has like Young Jeezy and stuff playing in the background. Man. She
for the culture.
Yeah,
that's it.
She just did an interview recently, man. Just talking about her upbringing, her culture and stuff like that. Man. So check that out, man. But she's on the front lines and
appreciate you
for working around the clock to come up with a solution for the COVID-19.
That's
so not all news is bad news when it comes to COVID, man.
COVID, big time.
Absolutely. Shout out to the queen.
Let's go, man. That financial literacy. Got COVID-19.
It's just when you turn on the TV now, everything is just negative, man. It's to the point I hate turning on TV, man. They're not reporting the good things,
right?
So I try to be a little light.
That's a lot of light.
Yeah, trying to be a little light today.
That's good, man. So today is going to be, I always say it's going to be good because it's going to be good, but today's going to be unique, man. You kind of hinted at it, talking about business. So today we want to talk about something called Black Wall Street.
Yes, y'all.
Black Wall Street.
Let's go.
So before we get into, Black Wall Street, let's just, I have a little definition here for those who may not know about Wall Street. Got Webster. Wall Street is a street in New York where the stock exchange and financial businesses are located. Wall Street is often used to refer to the financial business carried out there and to the people who work there. So, we said Wall Street. Wall Street's in New York. You mentioned about a gentleman, OW, in Tulsa. So Black Wall Street, we just want to first just kind of get your initial, what are your first thoughts when you hear Black Wall Street?
Y'all are probably going to laugh.
I'm going to start. Go ahead. What do you think?
So the first thing, before I understood I found out what the actual Black Wall Street was, the first thing I used to think about was the game. The artist, the rap artist. When he first came on the scene, him and his brother,
they had a label, right?
Big Face Hunted. Their crew was called there was the Black Wall Street. Like I remember saying the game had the big chain on the Black Wall Street. So like I said, that's the first thing I thought about until maybe like 3-4 years ago when I was having a conversation with somebody and I ended up looking it up. What it actually was. So I'm not sure if it has a direct correlation, but that's the first thing.
More than likely,
about
that's art and art imitates life. So, baby, what about you, Stokes?
For me, man, I think a bad day.
Oh yeah,
that bad day on Wall Street.
Right.
Folks jumping out the window, killing themselves. That's the first thing I thought about when I first heard about it. But it's a lot of life to this though.
Yeah, when I first heard the term Black Wall Street, I'm like, because you hear Wall Street like money, so I'm like, is this something to do with black people and money? Like that's the first thing I thought about. But again, I didn't know anything else outside of that, which leads me to my next point. When will you introduce, or the first time you understood or heard about, the Black Wall Street, the actual Black Wall Street? And for me, my first interpretation or first understanding of Black Wall Street from that aspect that you were talking about, OW, was when I went to the illustrious North Carolina Central University in Durham, North Carolina. Shout out to Bull City. Y'all can't see me in radio land, but I'm throwing that Bull City up for y'all. So actually in Durham, North Carolina, they have those little historical markers all throughout the city in downtown Durham. And it has like, on this day, this happened in this street. And they had, plenty of different historical markers, but this was particularly one that they had. It had Black Wall Street, Paris Street on 4 different blocks. So that was the first time I had ever seen or heard anything outside of just my own understanding. And of course, going to an HBCU, they keep you woke.
So, that's the way.
They keep you woke. So shout out to the people at NCCU. What about you, Savannah?
Hey man, as
Savannah
you see,
State over here.
definitely have to wear it proud, say it loud, man. I love my SSU, so I definitely want to just my time that I can even remember. Just think back to it, right? We were sitting in African American Studies my freshman year, and it was something that we have to take as a course in our coursework. And when we brought it up, I was kind of like, what is this? I'm thinking, like I said, bad day on Washington. I was learning about this.
Back studies right
What is going on? But to truly dive deeper into what Mr. OW did and his counterpart, definitely they made an impact, man, on the culture, for sure. Yeah. And I'm glad to have learned and continuously am learning about what's going on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. What about you, Doug?
I think I was the first time I actually saw it, like other than the outside of the game stuff. I was watching History Channel. So I don't know when this particular days, and they had a little story, a documentary on Black Wall Street. So I thought it was very interesting at the time. It's like maybe like 5-6 years ago. And then just preparing for the show just got me re-involved and just really going in depth and think, looking this stuff up, and it's just like, wow, man! Like you know, so
it's crazy what you learn.
It's crazy what you learn. And the other thing I learned too, man, is like stuff like this. They don't talk about it, but there's a reason why they don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was very, very, very interesting. So
Yeah, and to go along with that is that when I learned also about Black Wall Street, it wasn't the one in Tulsa. It was in Durham, North Carolina. And so, a lot of people, when they hear Black Wall Street, they think about Tulsa. But not only that, I also later found out through research, there's one in Richmond, VA. So there's a lot of little, townships that were prominent with African Americans that were very successful that we have no knowledge or understanding of. So it's just like doing your research.
But that go back to what Irv said, right?
Yeah.
If you didn't really take the time to really open up that book, tap into the things the research that you have, you're not going to know what's out there.
But I think the one in Oklahoma is significant because of
how it went down.
You know what I mean?
So, and we're going to get into that one. So, trust and
Let's get it, baby.
So, I just wanted to kind of talk about, the one in Durham, North Carolina. Because, like I said, it was the first one I was introduced. But to me, it was mind-boggling because putting those pieces together, when you go to an HBCU, they're going to give you the history of the founder and all the partners that had a place into creating this university. And just doing the research on Black Wall Street in Durham, North Carolina, is so many figures that have buildings named after them or gyms. I'm like, I know this name. And it's like these figures all play a factor into this university. So Durham's Black Wall Street, of course, can be traced back to the efforts of 2 entrepreneurs, Mr. John Merrick and C.C. Spalding. And I'm just going to talk about John Merrick. The guy was, you talked about OW being a businessman. This dude was straight entrepreneur to the core. To the core. So a man was born into slavery. Being a free slave, he had to look like, okay, what can I do? How I maneuver now? Because, when you free, quotes, what do you do? So my man started off as a brick mason.
It is.
You being a mason,
You know, you're building those bricks and laying it down. I think that's a lot of insight to what they've done and what that meant out there in that area of North Carolina.
Yeah.
You got to lay them foundation, baby.
All right.
So shout out to him.
So skill set. So while learning to be a brick mason, he was like, starting to see the disenfranchised of black people. Like, hey, well, I'm doing all this. Like, we don't have anything really that represents us. It's like, what's going on? So, of course, he vamps up his skills a little bit, and he decides that he's doing his brick mason, but he's also doing like an intern to be like a barber. Learns how to be a barber. Now, through this barber, he meets a gentleman named John Wright.
Okay.
John Wright John Wright starts a barbershop, right? Cool.
Okay.
I'm a barbershop. You know what? I'm going to bring you in.
Let's go. Come on.
I'm with you. I want to bring you in. He's in this barbershop being very successful. Mr. John Wright retired and said, you know what? This is now your shop.
Wow.
So this guy, John Merrick, had the social skills that was on point that he could talk to anybody. You start talking to him, I got you. And so he was able to speak to people. So through his barbershop, of course, we had a barbershop. We already said barbershops is the place for everything.
Yeah,
that's
it's
it.
the cornerstone of the community.
It is. So he's meeting all these prominent figures. These people got money. He's really doing his thing, man. Taking the time. So he turn one barbershop, 2, 3, 4. We got multiple barbershops.
Okay. Franchise.
So I'm making bread now.
Right, get money.
You know what I'm saying? Feel a little bit. And they say, get the bag in front, fumble the tip.
Yeah.
That shit jam, though.
He tumbling it.
Get the bag in front, fumble it.
That shit jam.
So my man getting the bag, right? So he's really getting the bag to the point that now he takes it from a regular barbershop. Now his clients are wealthy white men. So now,
whole another demographic.
You got people that got the bread. What you gonna do? I'm gonna talk to them. You got the bread. Let me holler at you.
Right.
So he's talking to a gentleman, and becomes his client, Mr. Washington Duke.
Okay.
Remember that name.
Washington
we'll come back
Duke.
to that. Washington Duke, right? So he, he becomes friends with this guy.
Okay.
Like, look, man, I'm trying to start a business. You got the bread. What's good. So, he gets this guy to invest with him and a couple of his partners. They also create the North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance Company, along with Dr. Aaron Moore and C.C. Spalding. So they help create the wealth of the largest African-American business in the country at this time.
That's dope.
So NC, the NC Mutual Life Insurance is the largest, business at this time in the whole U.S., in the United States, in the early 1900s, this is the largest African American business, right?
Okay.
So you see, he ain't playing no games. He ain't playing no games with it.
He really done. He mastered the game
right now, and to this day, right now, it is still the largest and oldest African American life insurance company to this day. So that shows you they were able to sustain throughout everything that was going on.
Everything, yeah, absolutely.
And another fact from that's also significant about this: 7 African American businessmen in Durham, including William G. Pearson, Richard Fitzgerald, J. A. Dotson, S. L. Warren, James E. Shepard, which is the founder of the illustrious North Carolina Central University. Shout out to my man. Of course, John Merrick and W. O. Stevens. They raised $10,000 to start a banking institution. So that banking institution was Mechanics and Farmers Bank, which is still in existence to this day. And this was in 1907.
Is that the We Are Farmers joint?
No. Okay. This is Mechanics and Farmers Bank.
You like who?
That's what I'm like, not the commercial. You like, hold on this.
We are farmers.
That's the insurance company. That's what you're talking there.
I said, we're gonna have a problem.
But really, they just gentrified the whole everything. Yeah, but they have Mechanics and Farmer Bank. So this is a bank that still exists to this day. So just to see Mr. John Merrick take it from being like rags to riches in real life.
Right.
We hear about these, I ain't have nothing, to now like literally being from a slave to an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. And he ain't just somebody entrepreneur how we think of just people that struggle. Like, he making bread.
Yeah. With the work in.
Right. He got money to deem it. So just learning that for me was like significant. And I knew a little bit, like I said, about the Durham, Black Wall Street, but learning that James E. Shepard, the founder of my HBCU, had a hands in the mechanics of Farmer Bank and also the NC Mutual Life. Like, it's crazy.
Man.
To think that they were able to pull those resources and come out with those businesses.
But you know, it's something that when I didn't know this about that situation up in North Carolina. Okay. But the thing about the barbers turning into the insurance and doing that, talk about Alonzo Herndon here in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. So he's the founder of Atlanta Life Insurance. That was created in 1927.
So
all black again. You think about it, and it's still running right now. So you know, you look at that, man, and to look at that time, that was a prominent time to say, okay, I have mine. I'm learning my skills. I'm learning my whatever I have, and my goal is to expand my brand from not for me, but for my people.
But see, another thing too with that is that time period, you have people willing to give the information. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? As far as, okay, I know how to make X, Y, and Z. Let me show you how to make X, Y, and Z. So we all can make X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's really what helps sustain those companies, you know, till this day, probably based on that same foundation. You know what I'm saying?
And let me fix something. I said Mr. Herndon had it solely in 1925. They were created in 1927. They were created in 1905. Mm. So think about that, right?
So just straight.
So it's been going on. So you had other business partners similar to
getting that, yeah, same
partnership.
thing.
So that that's strong right there.
I think for me it was eye opening to see that not only these are black businesses, but a huge black business that these people were able to say, look, you got this skill set, you got this. Let's bring these resources in and make it work for it. So that was definitely unique and also mind-boggling.
You know what else too though? This stuff is happening. Like, this wasn't the world like it is today. Like these people were like, you know, they had to deal with some real challenges. Like, you know, you couldn't go to certain places and stuff like that. So for them to come up with these different business ventures and be able to be successful, that's a whole nother success story in its own. You know what I'm saying?
And I think it also paves the way for now. Like we have much more millionaires now, you know, than any other time. So it's like those sacrifices they had to make for us to get to this point all plays a role in it. Yeah. So we got to understand and appreciate that. So now we want to get into the basis of it, the most notable of the Black Wall Streets, you know, and I'm gonna lean on my man Jay. I'm gonna lean on not Jay Earl. I'm gonna lean on my man Brother Knowledge over here.
Hey man,
to go ahead and just kind of just give us a little backstory on the Black Wall Street in Tulsa, man.
Hey man, when you look at it, it's crazy. We talk about O.W. Gurley as being one of the people during the same time as the people in Raleigh doing the different things that they were doing in Durham, and so you try to figure it out. You're like, okay, so Mr. Gurley once again, who was a landowner, prominent business owner, who did a lot of different things, moved from Arkansas to Oklahoma. So he was able to buy 40 acres in Tulsa, Oklahoma, naming it Greenwood after a town in Mississippi. And we understand Mississippi at that time was a very tough place to live as a black man.
In Mississippi.
Mississippi right now. So when we look at that, he specifically named it Greenwood so that people, when they see that, they're like, hold up, this is not Mississippi. I'm in a whole nother place where black people are doing better. Black people are actually growing and doing great things. So then we look at it. His motto was building something for my people, by my people.
For us, by us, baby.
Hey, man, you didn't even think about that, right? You just connected.
That's what food came from.
Yeah, Mr. Damon John.
That's something crazy. I just thought about that.
Yeah.
But so when you look at it, he had a partner, Mr. Baptist.
Yes.
So you know, Herb is definitely gonna give y'all some insight on him.
Oh, I know, I got you. Yeah, so he definitely partnered with Mr. John the Baptist Stradford, aka J.B. Okay, they shared a general distrust for white people. You know what I'm saying? So, around this time, because like I said, it was a crazy time and era. Both men chose to go by a little fun fact.
Yeah.
Both men chose to go by their initials instead of their first names. This action was formed of a silent protest because men in the South were customarily addressed by their surnames, while boys were called by their first names. Sadly, black adult males were often addressed by their first names by white men as a form of emasculation. So by using the initials O and W and J and B, circumvented that practice. So a little fun fact about that.
I wonder, because a lot of the older figures. They all had like even like AJ,
That's why.
SL.
Exactly.
That's why.
Wow, I
Yep.
never knew that.
Yep.
That's dope.
And back to how they collabed together,
Right.
which goes back to Durham.
Mm-hmm.
In 1906, they actually worked together to be able to create this Black Wall Street. This Black Wall Street had everything that you could think of that was black owned, from your pharmacists to your barbers to your hairstylists to your doctors to your lawyers. You got how many businesses they had in total?
I got you.
Because I was trying to find the exact number, but nobody could give me the exact number.
So around this time period, over 600 businesses, 21 churches.
Oh, go ahead. You said how much?
600 businesses.
600. You saying Jordan 600?
Yeah.
600 businesses, 21 churches, 21 restaurants, 30 grocery stores, 2 movie theaters, 6 private planes.
And then did you read that fact? It's a fun fact.
Gosh,
there was only 2 or 6. It was only 6 private planes at the time in the nation, and 2 of them were in Oklahoma.
Hospital, bank, post office, school system, and they had their own transit system as well too.
that's
Self-sufficient is not the word. It's even more than that.
Right.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I don't even know what to say to that. Like 600 businesses for it. Also having to have those different organizations for it as well. So they probably had lawyers, doctors, whatever you need.
The crazy thing about Mr. Stradford was he actually was in law. So he was lawyer and the activist. So they kind of linked up. The good thing about them is that even though they worked well together, they were very different from each other. You know what I'm saying?
So they had different views, you said?
Yeah, so for example, like OW subscribed to the philosophies of African American educator Booker T. Washington. J.B. favored the more radical views of civil rights activist W.E.B. Du Bois. You know what I'm saying? So you could just tell they were, Malcolm and Martin. Like just the
still
same views, but they have 2 different ways.
Different way. So you've highlighted, some things, some great things, and we learned about businesses. But we're going to talk about a day in 1921, May the 30th. So May 30th, 1921, there was a gentleman named Mr. Richard Rowland, 19-year-old. He is a shoe shiner, shines shoes. Now, of course, at that time, blacks, we couldn't use the same bathroom as whites.
Right.
So he had to actually go to a restroom on the top level of another business. So this gentleman, Mr. Rowland, goes to the restroom upstairs. As he's getting on the elevator, he trips. As he trips and falls. And of course, when you fall, you're trying to grab what the first thing I can grab. So he grabs a white woman as he's falling, which happens to be an operator elevator, and her name is Miss Sarah Page. So as this happens, there's a witness, and they say, "Hey, you know what? He is trying to sexually assault this young lady." So that didn't end well at all. He's immediately arrested the next day. And they're going to have a trial, and I'm quoting trial, for this gentleman. Now, as this happens, the Tulsa Tribune publishes a newspaper with the headline, "Nab Negro for Attacking Girl in Elevator."
Oh, that wasn't the only one, though. They had a couple of different ones. So they had that one, To Lynch a Negro Tonight, Nab Negro, attacking girl in elevator. Yeah, it was
so
crazy how they paid.
Imagine you have a climate of people, and we're divided, and you see something like this, they looking like this one of our people. We can't have this African American do this to us. So of course it ensues a mob. They come to the courthouse. They're like, "Look, we want to see what's going on with this trial."
Right.
Now, don't think that the black people was just sleeping like, "Nah, we ain't gonna do that." The black people was like, "Oh,
came with it.
You not about to," because there was a rumor going around that they were going to lynch this gentleman. And they had a thing like, no one's going to be lynched here.
Right.
So the black people was like, "Nah, we ain't about to let that ride."
Right.
So they go up. Like I think it was 50. I think 50 black men, something like that. 50 to 100 black men, and they armed. So they said, "Hold on, we gonna make sure that he's protected, make sure he's straight for the trial." And of course, from there, that is where everything
just went haywire.
Just goes for it. And I'm sure you can talk about that. That's a little tough, man. That it starts with something like that and it ends in
and it ends in the demise of just that whole area.
In a matter of what, 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
24 hours, man. I had the notes here that said how long it took.
Yeah, because everything I think started the next morning on the 31st, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the 31st, these black gentlemen go back. So they go back to their side of Tulsa, of Greenwood. And, you know, like, all right, we're going back. And as they go back, a mob
follows them back. Yeah.
16 hours, man, that it took for them to be able to run that whole community down.
And we talking about, was it like 30, 35 blocks?
Yeah.
Yep, 35 city blocks, 1,256 residents were destroyed.
Gosh.
And 600 successful businesses were lost.
Yeah.
Including 21
So you talking about looting, rioting, burning houses.
Yep.
And there were a lot of accounts from people saying that there were actually planes.
They heard bombs going off. Yeah,
right.
They heard bombs going off.
So this was an all-out assault on black people.
But you know what, though, man? And as I was reading, and this is the part of the story that really, you know, kind of had me thinking a different way. And it all goes back to the money. Okay, so we weren't supposed to have these things. You know,
according to them.
According to them, how y'all doing this? How y'all being successful and keeping it within the community? And this was just, to me personally, this is my own opinion. I feel like that was a reason for them to get rid of it, tear it down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They needed an excuse, and that was it. And, you know.
So it was you know, spoke about that. Not only these black men were prominent, they actually had mansions, houses. You know, of course they couldn't be in downtown area. So in their Greenwood area, they had large houses.
Yeah.
We're talking 3, 4, 5 bedroom houses. You know, mansions. So looking at a white person looking at a black person as they already think of us as less. So you're looked at as less, and now you have more than me.
And it's funny you said, and I forgot to mention this. Mr. Stradford was also born into slavery in Kentucky. He was a lawyer and an activist, and he built a 55-room luxury hotel bearing his name for his people because of that reason. He's like, hey, if we can't go to those places, we're gonna have our own. We'll have our own, and it probably was better than what they were trying to go to.
Of course. So now, you know, not only are these good, they're better than things. So they're looking at it like, well, why are these people that we view as less than, how do they have more than us? So it was a direct reflection to take them out, you know? Like, and the thing, we said earlier, it was what, 600 businesses?
600.
So think about that. Like, on the 600 businesses in, was it 16 hours?
16 hours that the riot lasted. Over 16 hours.
Right.
So you think about that, right? And it goes back to, like you say, it being a direct move to try to destroy.
It's calculated.
Calculated, man.
Calculated move. Yeah.
You know, you think about Mr. O.W., where he placed this place for Greenwood was actually right off of the railroad.
Right.
So when you ride through this town, you had no choice but to look to your right or look to your left and see Greenwood, the Black Wall Street.
Called Little Africa.
Little Africa.
That's what he was the king of Little Africa.
Right.
That's crazy, right?
And to see that these prominent businesses were destroyed in a matter of hours. I mean, hours we're talking about.
That's not a whole day.
You know what I'm saying? Like, in a matter of hours, everything that you've had, you've built, your generation, it's gone.
Have you seen this? They had some of the, like I said, man, it's hit me a little different. I was looking at the photos of, like, the before and then after the destruction. Like, it's mind-boggling, man. Like, you know what I mean?
Part of me, if I seem to be all over the place, it's just thinking about those visuals that we've taken in and how, even if this was to happen today, to me and mine, I don't even know how I could be bounced back mentally, bounce back or whatever, because it's such a tragic situation, man, that you just get blown back from doing your research and looking at these visuals and looking at that, man. It's so sad.
And you mentioned on something that kind of touched you, something that was very kind of like heart-wrenching for me was to find out, you know, there were a lot of accounts of people saying not only were, you know, they burning things, but they were taking stuff.
Yeah, looting, man.
So just imagine, like, you have a house and you have your material things that you've had in your family for generations, and now someone is taking it,
stripping that from
you know what I'm saying? So it's to erase as if it doesn't even exist.
But they try. I mean, it even goes on like to this day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. People are always afraid of what's different. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to learn from one another. You know what I'm saying? You just, okay, well, we're going to get rid of that. So it's, you know, we don't have to deal with that anymore. They couldn't, I guess, fathom the fact that we outcast these people, and they basically created their own little paradise. So what do we do now? You know what I mean? So it's just
we're resilient people. We can make it.
We're gonna make it do. Stretch the legs, baby.
But I mean, think about it. If you even take it back, just briefly to slavery. They were giving us the whole, like, you take that. And we made everything about it. Bacon, sausage. Like, I know in the South they do chitlins and all that.
I don't eat chitlins.
I was about to ask you
for the record. I don't eat chitlins.
That's nasty.
But it just shows that despite everything, we're always able to come out on top. Because they were even, I think they talked about they were in the process, they had to do the rebuild after that.
They did.
So, of course it took them much longer and, it changed the narrative of everything.
And they tried to stop them from rebuilding. So it was a lot of different challenges.
And a lot of misinformation as far as reporting deaths. They were like, oh, it was only 30 deaths or 25. And we know it had to be more than that.
Absolutely.
This is a thriving community.
You can't burn down or you can't destroy 600 businesses and then report 20 or 30 deaths. Like, it's just
does not work that way.
A lot of newspaper articles were disappeared. They disappeared and never happened. They were cut out of books and everything. And, they estimated really it was over 300, deaths for it. So I think the importance of this, and we don't want to, spend too much time harping on that, but just learning about the Black Wall Streets, right, and the success of that, and particularly the demise of Tulsa. Does that change your perspective now on Black businesses? Just kind of hearing that and learning about Black businesses.
Most definitely, man. For me, like I said, it's an emotional feel because I know a lot of people that are Black that have small businesses and have their own brands, and I do my best to try to support as much as I can. But now looking at this, understanding how important it is, my support is, my family's support is, because I can show you something. You may like what I have. You may want to go support. Right. So now that person has just reached 2 people. Right. Then 3 people. If you see
so on and so on,
and it starts to flow. So I'm like, man, it's very important for me to be able to now give back even more. Seeing this and doing my research on this even deeper, I gotta spend my dollars in Black community.
And for me, it just makes me see that there's proof based on these successful communities and townships that. We are able to be self-sustaining, and there's successful communities, and we could learn that if we trust and put our resources together with other people and not be so threatened by success, because success brings out the worst of people, and it makes you kind of, people see like me and you got, we got a restaurant. And we both got a restaurant, but if you see me going, you're like, well, how is he doing that?
Yeah.
Versus saying, no, how are you doing that? Let me know how you making these things work. Like, let me see if I can do so. So we got to understand the significance of working together. If this right here is proof in the pudding that these Black people were all able to come together, I'm sure the doctor wasn't like, oh, you got a hotel over here. Like, nah, you got a hotel. Somebody got a problem.
Right.
I'm going to send them over to you.
They pull their resources together.
Right. So for me, it definitely changed my perspective of like, you're seeing something work.
Yeah. Versus
just hearing all day, oh, Black people don't support it. Like, you don't want to hear that. So seeing that people are able to do something is very significant to me. What about you, J.R.?
For me, I think that, just learning more about, the situation and just seeing how they, was able to come from different walks of life and one connect. And I think people need to, realize the power that we have. I don't think people realize, how prominent Black people are, despite of what they try to portray and stuff like that. It's just, our buying power, is it's unmatched. If we like today, if it was something right now that we wanted to get canceled or just whatever situation, we have the power to do that.
Make it happen.
I just don't think a lot of people realize that or use it for the greater good, like we talked about before. But that was my biggest takeaway from just learning about the whole scenario. Like, you got a group of brothers and women, and they just all decided, like, hey, look, we need to do something. We don't necessarily need the outside world to help us create our paradise.
We got it. Yeah. And for me, it also makes me think, like, I think the bigger question I was always thinking, like, well, why did they never taught us this? Like, you talk to older people, and they like, I ain't never heard of Tulsa, never heard of Black Wall Street. It's mind-boggling to see that we never learned this in history class. You never talked about anything like that.
Because they don't want they don't want it to repeat itself again.
Right. Exactly.
That's why.
Okay. Yeah. And so I look at it like this: if you know that your history is you were a slave, you came directly from slave, you're this, you don't have there's nothing significant about you. And if I keep preaching that to you, then you ain't got nothing. You're not really, you know what I'm saying? But if I told you, yo, Stokes, I looked at your lineage and I see that, MLK, Dr. MLK, he was your uncle.
Right.
Malcolm X was your uncle.
Yeah.
Like these prominent figures, it's going to change your perspective. Like, okay, so I do have value. I do have worth.
Who am I?
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And it also enslaves you mentally.
Yeah.
And Bob Marley has a quote that says, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. So we have to understand a lot of times we hold ourselves captive. Just overthinking, thinking like, you know what, well, I can't, I want to do a business, but I don't know how, and people ain't going to support me. Like, I think now, over anything, is definitely time.
Right.
We got nothing but time right now.
Right.
This is time. Every idea that you have, you told somebody a crazy idea, and they was like, that ain't going to work.
Yeah.
Like, this is your time to make all those things happen and let people see that you can do it. If you, and if we stop getting out of our own way of just saying like, oh, it ain't going to work, and just do what you got to do, because we see the proof.
Yeah. You got to connect with the right people, though, man. You know what
True.
I'm saying? Like, so you got to get out of that mentality, like, well, I can just do it on my own. Or a lot of people want to use this quote all the time, right? Man, ain't nobody getting
made.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, dog.
No one can do it alone.
Yeah, no one can do it alone. You had to either know someone or even have someone spark their interest. You're not just sitting on your couch and just
even
saying,
more, it's connections, man.
Yeah.
Even the great Sean Corey Carter couldn't do it on his own.
Right.
like my man Stokes, man, he knows everybody.
Oh, he knows.
Nah, he's
connected.
Iron sharpens iron.
It does.
And you have to truly stand on that.
Yes.
Mhm.
And so that's why like-minded people, you're going to hang around it. So you're going to see success if you're around success.
Yeah.
You're going to attract success if you are near some other type of success. And so that's the goal, what I see with these people here from Black Wall Street.
It was really
Hey, everybody was successful in their own right first.
Yeah.
Right.
And then collab to create a bigger success.
And you touched on it a little bit earlier, so I want to go back to that. The importance of the black dollar.
Mm.
How important really is, you talked about spending power, how important is the black dollar really?
It's very important. Like I said, we swing the pendulum of anything when it comes to money.
Culture.
Like think about it, man. Anytime somebody I'm gonna use a sports analogy, okay? I don't know if you guys, I'm a little older. Fab Five. I know you know.
Yes.
Okay, so great documentary, by the way. But anyway, anything that Nike wanted to sell at that time, they labeled it Fab Five. So Fab Five Nikes, Fab Five Nike socks, and their revenue, and even like the University of Michigan, their revenue, tripled while the gentlemen were there. You got five black kids, all from the inner city, and they were growing these brands like crazy.
Doing the black socks.
Doing the black socks.
That's what I remember.
Right, because that was never
Black socks and ball head.
That's right. But companies realized, okay, well, we are the ones that's spending the money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So how do we tap into that? If we realize that, hey, we want to control our own narrative, you control where you spend your money. So like, your man's that, shout out to Eron the Don.
Yes, him. Yeah.
Like Eron the Don, you know what I'm saying? By him being your man's, he does shirts and stuff like that. So like Jay-Z said, why would I spend $100 when my man got Ciroc?
Let's get it.
Yeah, so if we all had a mentality, not just trying to be, not saying selfish, but like get out of that way of I don't want to see somebody doing better than me, it would be a lot better off. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Man, that's tough to follow up. Y'all hit you with yours, right?
Nah, man, I pick it up on that, but you mentioned about spending power. The African American has a 1.3 trillion with a T spending power, meaning if we want something, we're gonna get it.
Yeah.
If we want something, we're gonna get it.
Absolutely.
That's just what it means. And I also think the black dollar is very important. You have people that say, well, the African American communities, they're poor, they're this, they don't got this. But think about this. There are businesses like liquor stores, wing spots, carryouts, beauty supplies, nail salons, corner stores. All of these businesses are successful in black communities.
But they're not owned by black.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. But if we understand that, then we can switch the whole narrative of that. because you saying that these communities don't have it, but you know, there's a couple things about black people. We want to look good at all costs.
Absolutely.
We all missing our balls right now. Like, we miss y'all. But black people don't care about, when it comes to their hair, how we look, and eating. Like, how we look, we those gonna be prominent for us. We gonna make sure we got the drip, shout out to the drip life. We gonna make sure we drip, we gonna make sure we look good. Because when you look good, you feel good. And you wanna eat nice. Mm-hmm. So businesses you mentioned about, they're tapping into that. You think about, business even like McDonald's. They trying to cater to different things, so you understand.
You know what's crazy about that? So, once again, it goes back into the marketing.
Yeah.
McDonald's didn't start doing commercials like that until Obama got into office.
Of course.
Once he got into office, okay, we gonna tap into the.
But they had all those singing joints, so they was trying to cater, because here's the thing, no business on a larger scale, if you don't have a plan that involves people of color.
Oh man, it's not gonna be successful.
It's not gonna be
grow it up.
And people are understanding that. So you realize they'll target us with different ways. They do sing and dance. Like even think how many listen to the radio. If you listen to the radio, there's 1,700 or 5011 as they say here, lawyer commercials.
No, definitely.
I was in a wreck.
Yeah, with the rap and with the dancing, with the beats and all that.
You hear a song, you like, is this a song, or like, oh, this is a law commercial. This is a law commercial for it. So it's like, if all these people are saying that we're successful in a different way, we got to understand, we got to tap into that. And I think the bigger thing is we got to realize what you said. We got to realize the power that we really have. Yeah. And this is not about, when I first heard Black Dollar, it was someone preaching to me about, you got to stop buying J's. You got to stop buying this. You got to stop buying the cars. And as a young person, you're like, okay, that doesn't move me.
Right.
But if you told me, Weeks, man, you spend $1,000, you spend $1,000 every couple months at these businesses here. If you spend that same $1,000 at these black-owned businesses, not only will you get things that you like, but you have something that's giving someone else an opportunity. It's allowing this community to thrive. It's giving you a job, giving the next person a job. That's going to change my perspective. Even if I'm not like, all right, cool, I'm going to take my money over here, it at least gives me something to think about.
Yeah.
And now we got to understand, we got to just change the perspective. I ain't going to say, don't buy the J's. Right. But, maybe buy your J's for your man that got his shop over there. Make sure they A1 official.
Who got a franchise? Who got a franchise full of?
Exactly. You got his Chick-fil-A. Exactly. He got a spot for that. But we got to understand what we really have, because if you see that we got all this power to make something happen, think about businesses when we were boycotting Gucci. They took a hit hold on. We just playing. Take it back.
Yeah. But it goes back to like you said, as far as spending that money within your own community. Yeah. Right? So if you look, and it goes back to what you were saying as far as what's in our community, like the liquor stores, your wing stops. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to shout them out because they don't.
You said your wing stop.
Yeah, my bad.
Hey man, shout out to Ricky Rose. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. So the ones owned by Ricky Rose. Right. But here's the thing, man. When people are coming over from different countries and stuff like that, right? Our government, they pay these people, they fund them to come over here and do those type of things, right? Not saying that we don't have the capability to do that, but it's okay. So why is that? Mm-hmm. So we're gonna put you here in this spot because we know they're gonna spend money on you. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like when you gotta open your eyes to the much broader picture. You know what I'm saying?
It's strategic, bro.
It is.
You have to look at it.
You have to look at it.
Your urban planning is real. So when they talk about these different urban development, all of that, then they talk about where they're gonna place put these businesses and put these attractions for people of color
to make it better. To make it better.
Right. We're gonna have to look at where we understand in your neighborhood, if you did own that block, how you could stop people from coming in.
Yeah.
You can look at if I own this business full of this grocery store, this dry cleaning, this cashier, I'm not going to say cashier because that's connected to a liquor store, but to this wine and spirits place, you can do that. But then you look at, if you own that, you can say, no one's going to come in here but a black owner. Mm-hmm. If I want to sell it to someone, I'm going to sell it to a black owner.
Yeah.
Sell it to a black business.
But wasn't it was it Slim Thug? And so I was doing the buy of the block.
I was just about to see.
Nip.
Slim Thug was doing that. You know,
Nipsey,
Recipes. He was doing it in his community. Another guy that doesn't get as much credit as he deserves for doing something in the community is Warwick Dunn.
Oh man, yes, those houses for those mothers.
Warwick Dunn's been doing it. Warwick Dunn's been doing this program for like years. You know what I'm saying? Where he does the homes for the single mothers and children, stuff like that.
Never heard of it.
It's crazy. You know, because he experienced that growing up. And one of the prominent star in the NFL, Deshaun Watson, was a recipient. Him and his mother, his family was a recipient when he was a kid.
Full circle. That's crazy.
So that's somebody doing something in the community.
And of course, that makes him do his back.
Coming back, absolutely. You know what I'm saying?
And in Houston, he has his own foundation that does the same thing.
Same thing.
So,
crazy. Yeah. So buy up the block. Like, don't just buy the one store.
If you can, or collab. That goes back to collaboration. Because all three of us monies together is a lot better than just yours.
Absolutely.
Facts. So I mean, so to end it, like, what can we do now to kind of change things? We've done our research, you know, on a smaller scale. Of course, we always want to continue to educate ourselves. But what can we do now, or you know, what can the people do to kind of change things for us when it comes to business or anything?
Just have an open mind. Have an open mind and have an open heart. What I mean by that is, like, you know, if you're gonna have an open mind to spend money with, you know, black owned business, stuff like that, just make sure, hey, like, they may not be the top of the line, creme de la creme, but you're supporting something that's going to be around forever. And also, too, for the flip side, black businesses, if you want this support, you got to make sure you A1 and doing what's right for the people. You know, so you can't expect people to spend
just
money.
Just because you're black.
Yeah, you can't expect people to spend money with you just because you're black. You know what I'm saying? You should take that as a, hey, because I am a black business owner, I know I'm going to have to work a little.
You're going to have a higher standard.
Yeah, I'm going to have that higher bar. I need to make sure I'm always providing A1 service.
Stay up.
Absolutely, man. So have that
So
open mind.
it's twofold, John.
Yeah. Open mind, open heart, man, and just, you know.
Yeah, for me, like you said, I mean, we've all said it, support your local black businesses. Spread the word about black businesses. And even now, like, share. Like, we're in the age of social media. Everyone we know has some type of side hustle. You know, shout out to Cool. Yvonne the Don with the drip light. Hey, he got the drip too, man.
Hey, he got a lot of stuff.
Shout out to my man with his shirt line, Lords. My man Hezekiah. So shout out to his joint.
He's located
Yeah. We're gonna see the link for that, man. We're gonna definitely shout out. But it's so many other black businesses and organizations, even for us podcasts, like things. We gotta make sure we are sharing those resources. Let it be known, like, hey, this person got this. Oh, you looking for hats? You know, my man got this. Oh man, you looking for somebody who do appliances? Yeah, I got my man right here. Share it, man. I think once we understand that and get out of the mindset, stop believing that black people don't support. Let's just get out of that. Let's just get out of the they don't support. If people don't support, if you post something and they may not share, hey, keep moving.
But trust me, they watching. They looking.
Oh, always.
There's people that look at your joint every day. Man. They ain't gonna never comment. They ain't gonna like. But I guarantee if you start talking about something, they can talk about everything that you got going on. So you never know who's watching. So you got to make sure that you holding yourself to that standard and making sure you doing your due diligence.
Absolutely.
That also means, like, if you, I keep going back to the plates, but like, stop selling plates for $50 and you got $10 worth of stuff on it.
What are you talking about?
These food plates. But what you got, man?
But for me, man, you know, one of the things you have to be conscious in the way you're spending. Okay. So think about this. Be strategic. Say, okay, I may try to find me a black doctor, find me a black lawyer, find me a black whatever, just so that my money is going into that black, cycle. Because I think back to Black Wall Street, right? Their money touched at least 36 to 100 families before it left that community.
Oh, so you talking about it exchanged 36 to 100 times before it left?
36 to 100.
Let's just think about that. So I give you $1, and in our community, it exchanged hands 36 times to 100.
That's crazy.
What is it? I'm just curious to find out what's the rate or what's the circulation time now.
So 6 hours.
What?
In the black community, the black dollar goes 6 hours.
So we just getting it.
So think about that. 6 hours compared to
36 times. Like,
36 to
within
100
which
times.
probably equals to probably like a year or something like
I'd
that.
say at least a year.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that you think about, right? It done fed 36 families
Right.
or 100 families.
Right. Coming
But that's still so many families.
Oh, yeah.
So now you look at, okay, I'm going to be strategic in everything that I do. I'm going to try to go to think about a farmer's market, a black-owned farmer. Go try to find him and get some fresh fruit, some fresh beverage from him.
Yeah.
Go try to get your T-shirt
from mom and pop.
There you go.
Especially right now, that stuff is very.
You don't want to go in the stores around the people.
We need a farmer plug right now.
Black banks, black everything.
If you a farmer and you listening to the show, you know somebody, man, holler at us.
Yes.
man.
That's real.
Yeah, the
No.
Atlanta Food Bank, but not the Atlanta Food Bank, but they have a Atlanta mission that does a lot of natural foods out in Jonesboro.
Okay.
So you on the south side, definitely I'll get you the info so you go check them out.
Okay, yeah, do that.
They do fresh everything. You can do fresh fruit, fresh veggies. They actually have some portions of meat that they have from the land as well.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you go out there and check
Yeah,
them
let me
out.
know, man. Because I live the furthest out.
Yeah.
You live in Jablip.
He said
Exactly. People are like, what is Jablip? Exactly. What is Jablip?
I like that, though. You don't know why I'm
Exactly.
Oh, man.
You would be a perfect candidate for doomsday purpose. All I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
it. He on the home.
Look, the stay-at-home quarantine don't bother me.
Right.
That's crazy.
But it's unique, man, that you said being aware.
Yeah. When your
Being
dollars
aware of where that dollars is very significant, man. So let's do all these things and more important, let's take it back to the basics, people.
Absolutely.
Let's take it back to the basics of all these things that we've learned about today, and these other people that also been doing in other townships of different black, organizations when it comes to Black Wall Street.
Like,
So
the
shout
basics, baby.
Shout out to
Black
everybody.
Wall Street.
Yes, sir.
It's the old dub.
And now the time has come for my absolute favorite part of the show. To tell us why you mad.
But I'm gonna tell you why I'm mad. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you why I'm mad. I'm gonna
I
tell
got a lot to be bad about, but this.
But it's on you today, so what you got, man?
I know.
Why you
Man.
mad, son?
Yo,
I'm a little upset. No, I ain't even thinking about it.
Okay.
It's been on my mind all day. You see me over here trying to figure it out, and I'm like, man. But last night, man, I'm not sure if most people on Instagram have heard about it on social media, man. But Teddy Riley
Man.
and Babyface.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Were supposed.
Yes, man.
We're
I'm
supposed to have a, I guess, spin-off or whatever they want, a competition of records.
It's supposed to be verses. Go ahead, man.
Whatever, man. I don't know what it was showing that. I can tell you that. But that, I guess, showing of Uncle Teddy had to be the worst. I don't know if he was working for Reem. I don't know if he was working for whoever he was working for, because his alarm kept going off. So I tell you that. Secondly, shout out. First, I do want to give a shout out to his homeboy. That probably was the most loyal man I ever met.
If y'all don't support me like that, though, I don't want y'all.
Y'all ain't my dog. But in the Kango, shout out to you, homies. Then what you want to talk about is where the last piece to this, man, you have millions, okay? Your kids couldn't have showed you. Your grandkids couldn't have showed you. Somebody could have showed you how to get your audio right, huh? I don't care what it is.
My man tried to do a full-fledged concert. This is verses now. Now, for those who've seen verses, you play a song,
I'm bothered by that.
I got my
first time.
Okay, so on the verses, we talked about T-Pain and Lil Jon, right? Typically they have a laptop, little speakers, they might be in the studio, play it so you can hear it. My man Teddy Riley did a full-fledged, he had a stage, he had this piano, he had the keyboard, like he had the bass, like he had full-fledged. I mean, stood
Frankie
up.
Beverly and May.
Right. And all you kept hearing, y'all can hear me?
His alarm go off.
Hey man, who make that noise back there, man? We're trying to record. What y'all doing? He like, and then he hit him with the camera. So y'all can't fix it. Nobody.
He started cussing his people out.
I'm like, dude, we can see you, dog. Like,
And here's the thing with that though, man. So this was my first time. Well, I didn't technically watch it. My wife was watching. I was listening in on it.
Yeah.
So I heard
it was heartbreaking.
But what I want the young people or the people that's watching that may not know who Teddy Riley is, right?
Yeah.
So I know he had a fiasco last night, but
He's still a legend.
Look at this catalog. Like Teddy Riley is one of the greatest, you know,
To do
it. So all the memes and stuff is hilarious, but just hey,
still
do your research first.
All I'm saying is you got to do a dress rehearsal.
Hey, you gotta practice.
You should have had a dress rehearsal before.
But my boy Babyface was still smooth. We're gonna wait.
Well, you know,
We gonna chill out. You know, Babyface was chilling.
You know, are you finished?
the reason why he was like that because Babyface knew he had something in the top.
Oh man.
And you know what's crazy?
But he was looking regular. He was sitting just regular,
ready to press play.
Right. But you know, when you calm like that, you know you got something.
You gonna go crazy.
What I didn't know, or I may have forgot, but I did not realize he produced the Bobby Brown joint that they played. What they tried to play last night. What was I think it was was it Everett? No, was it Everett? Was it Everett Step I Take?
Which one? Pride?
No, he played the Bobby Brown joint that he
Who,
did.
Babyface?
Yes.
He did all that though.
I'm saying,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Babyface really got his hand on everything from 1980 to 95 to 2000.
This is Bobby Brown. I did not know that. As being a music person, I did not know he had his hands.
And meanwhile, Teddy Riley had 17 echoes in the back.
In the ring.
He could have just played the guy I like or Groove. Something like
no.
He started off.
He should have.
He was trying to have a show. That's the thing.
But that's the artist.
No, he was put on a concert. He should even Swiss did his verses in the car. Swiss was in the car playing his verses. Like, he could have just done something simple as that. You already had the hits. We was gonna be with you anyway.
Yeah.
You know, we thought this was like Clash of the Titans. This was like
The cookout.
We was about to make it happen. This was like, you know, Jay-Z and Nas. Like everybody was ready. You know, people brought out their old school. They shirts, they tie-dye Jones, they had the airbrush Jones ready to
had their socks on and do the running man and everything else.
Now, one versus I hope it does go down because you know I don't really watch them, but if this does go down, I will watch. If 50 and Ja Rule,
no, he ain't
gonna happen. They ain't got no money for Phil.
Look, I just want to see it.
Hey, hey man, Ja Rule trying to get anything to get back on the scene.
Yeah,
after the Fire Festival.
Look, yeah. 50 has learned that, hey, I may not be doing rapping no more, but I can make other streams of income and be relevant.
He's doing very well for himself.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, so it's probably best for Ja Rule. Just go ahead and just tap out because you're not going to win the track.
That beat, dog.
You definitely had the guitar chain on.
Nah, never. The only chain I have ever owned when it comes to music is Cash Money. You couldn't tell me I was with no.
Oh, my God. You didn't? You had one of them?
Son, I went to the flea market
got
me. I told you, Juvie was my dude. Like, I when y'all see, for y'all followers on social media,
I saw that
look
too.
at IG, our page, you see me, that was real like me. Like, you see me with the band and that, like, I real like that. All of that.
Yeah, the soldiers.
Nah, I ain't never had that. I wasn't a drunk. I wasn't doing the jabos and all that.
Yeah, the jabos and the soldiers.
But I was legit going, you know, I thought I was in the Dolly for real.
One thing I didn't know, people out there listening about our host, Mr. Weeks, I didn't know you played Hamlet.
Oh, yeah, you didn't see that?
No, I wasn't.
Look, listen, I challenge any one of our followers.
The man said he was in every play that tapped in.
Right. I challenge any one of our followers to find this photo of my man playing Hamlet.
No, it wasn't Hamlet. I was in a.
I saw the photo. If you find a photo, tag B2B, and we'll shout you out on the next episode. Okay. Family and friends don't count, but if you find this photo, tag B2B, and we're gonna shout you out. Okay.
No, all I say is I am an actor to the core.
That's my tell.
Tell him where you at.
I saw my man dressed up as Hamlet.
That's your tell me.
The good stuff.
But no, man, it's definitely that was a great way to end it off with the Teddy Riley and that. You know, my man tried to throw shade in. Man, I am a skilled. I'm a trained thespian.
You are.
I mean, be or not to be.
That's exactly how you was in the photo. Holla at Herb, man. Get that photo to me, people.
Well, man, we definitely appreciate y'all tuning in to us, man. Make sure y'all support these black businesses and make sure, more important, that y'all take it black to the face. We're going to catch y'all next week. So tune in. Black to the face. We out with you.